Live from Las Vegas, it's Benny Westside, and we've got an important video today. We're going to talk about some non-player changes to bumps and farmability that's a little bit sketch. But more importantly than that, I think we're going to talk about why people should hoard and hoarding that we don't understand, why you've stopped hoarding, why I'm still hoarding. Then we're going to talk about ARES. A lot of people are saying ARES is garbage, and that's partially correct, but incorrect.
Yeah.
And then Gorr has been disappointing to me, but you had a different take on Gorr that I don't think people heard. And then we also have some comments on my perception in the test server may have been wrong because of the way the stats are set up on the test server, right? So this is a good conversation. So what are we talking about today? How do I do this? We got to go like this. All right.
There we go.
So this was stealth. They didn't tell anybody about it. It was buried in an in-game message after 4 pages of text.
Yeah.
So and there was we didn't know. Nobody knew about this.
No, it wasn't in the blog.
They didn't consult any. This was like, we're doing this no matter what, and it was buried. And so similarly, characters will not be added to bumps. Now bumps is basic orbs, ultimate store, ultra store is the ultra store. So that's also the store and the orbs, and then we got mega orbs and premium orbs.
And supply shot.
And then supply shot. So that is an acronym for bumps. So basically, they're not really farmable, but they're available. And we're gonna talk about that until around 3 months, where before it was 2 months?
Not even,
Maybe it was less. 3 months have passed after release. Character shards availability after release will be shifted to event rewards, character rewards. Like, how long ago did Shuri come out?
Not even a month.
So normally it was like a month. Like, so Hank and Shuri are now in these orbs, but what they're saying is that Annihilators is drastically delayed from now.
Yeah.
And so this is not player friendly. We're not here to justify this or no, this is bad. Yeah. So it says character shard availability after release will be shifted to event rewards, character orbs, and battle passes, which will offer extended period of time for earning character shards. So there is a promise that they made to the community because of the player voice movement and all of that, that characters were going to be basically available to the community at 7 yellows with moderate engagement gameplay after a 6-month window.
Yeah.
So that meant that there was offers, then there was a free-to-play event, which they've delayed now, right? Yeah. The window for when so this is what's happening right now, is that there's the offers, and then they pushed back the free-to-play event and the events, right, a little bit. And then it would go to bumps. Now they pushed that back. And then we would get farmability about month 4. Yeah. And then hopefully by 6 months, you have them at 7 yellows, which has been true so far. But the way that they're doing it is now more, they're moving it more towards the 5-6 month mark rather than. Yeah.
Like Gladiator came out, 10 days, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Gorr came out. We still don't know when Gladiator's free-to-play event is.
Yes, and those orbs in the arena are not, that is that is a, source of frustration, but it's not the unlock event. No. That is a way of getting that's an event, for whatever that means. So this has caused a lot of people frustration. I want to read this post right here, and then we'll talk about what you're doing and what I'm doing with hoarding, because I think hoarding for the sake of hoarding is counterproductive. And we're going to talk about when to hoard and when not to hoard. And I think we have different but similar views on this. And so rip bumps, new characters will only be added 3 months after release. I had 70 mega orbs, which is outrageous. I've got 12. 70 mega orbs is outrageous. I mean, that takes years.
He must not have opened any for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've started hoarding since the Old Man Logan event, and I have 12. So 70 is years. Ready to boost my lighters to 6 yellow when they would enter bumps. Last Scopely has seen through me, and now new characters into bumps after 3 months. This was stated in-game messaging alerting that Illuminati entered bumps, and so this is potentially preventing a free-to-play method for the next legendary character.
Yeah.
And so let's just talk about your reason to hoard and not to hoard, because the one thing that drives me crazy is people hoard for the sake of hoarding with slowing down the progression on their account, right? You know what I mean? Like they're negatively impacting their account today for the sake of some future return that is unknown, and without a specific plan for when they're going to open X amount of orbs. So talk about why you hoard and why you stopped hoarding this particular situation, right?
Yeah. So I hoard when I know I might need something in the future. For example, I always try to keep a stock of gold orbs in case I unlock a Mephisto or Thanos Endgame, somebody that's immediately going to have to impact Arena. Those characters I can't afford not to upgrade immediately.
So it's a reasonable plan to hoard Mega Orbs, Basic Orbs, Premium Orbs until the next Arena team comes out.
Yes.
So like when Secret Defenders came out, there was probably a group of hoarders that flushed them when they got added to the orbs. And so that's what it sounds like this post was about. Somebody that was waiting for Annihilators. Fine.
But this time it's twofold, because with Old Man Logan, we went back to star-locking legendaries.
Yes.
Which they have not said they're going to do that again. We don't know. But it was a reasonable assumption to think that the next legendary event might require that as well, which they've announced that Annihilators and Illuminati are going to factor into that legendary event. So it was a reasonable assumption, but given this 3-month window, it seems very likely that they're not going to be added to bumps, probably after the legendary event.
Okay, so I'll explain. So my thoughts were that I was waiting for the next legendary event, and then if I was in a situation like I was with Starbrand, where I needed to purchase Starbrand offers, which broke my soul, right?
Yeah, same.
To get Old Man Logan, and frankly, if I'm being honest, it was worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
But it felt really bad doing it.
It felt slimy, and so I had a commitment to hoard Premium Orbs, Basic Orbs, and Mega Orbs, where when I was placed in that Starbrand situation specifically, I would dump these. So this has pissed me off because it looks like that they did this on purpose. Like they knew people were hoarding Premium Orbs, Basic Orb, Mega Orbs, and for this situation. Now, this is where I've always had a problem. So like I took Penny to 2 Diamond yesterday, but she could have been at 2 Diamond, guys, I had 2 Diamonds waiting on her weeks ago if I had been opening these orbs.
Yeah.
So there was negative impact on my account by trying to implement this situation, and we talked about it. There's a lot of characters like this. I'm close to taking Hank to the next star level. I'm close to taking Doc into the next level. Like if I opened all my orbs today, I probably can go up a star on Hank, go up a star on Dawkins.
Yeah.
I for sure could have went. I got my Penny, but she was on the edge also. She could have been at 2 Diamond
much sooner.
The last round of Crucible for an entire week. So there is a cost to hoarding, and if there's no purpose to it, it's bad.
Yeah.
Right. So what did you do?
After this, and we did have this discussion with you
yesterday.
After that, I ended up opening all of my Mega Orbs and Premium Orbs, and I got Sasquatch and the white costume guy.
Guardian,
both up a star level, and maybe it didn't like change the game for me, but it did improve my it is going to improve my Spotlight Raid experience.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get Penny. I also have 2 Diamonds waiting on her, and I'm trying to fulfill those. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me that way. So I'm
But there was a chance. It was a chance that you could have gotten penny to 7 yellow, and then that would go to 2 diamonds, right? So here's the reason. So like my policy in general for me, and everybody's different. Some people hoard for the sake of hoarding without a purpose, and I'm not in that camp. Like if there is an orb that could advance my roster in some way, I open it now. Like, because I don't know what's going to happen 6 months from now, right? And there's this power creep and depreciation all, going crazy in this game. So premium orbs, basic or mega orbs, were not on my radar to hoard until the Old Man Logan event. And I thought there was value because of the situation created by Old Man Logan. Now I'm probably in the camp of opening these now.
Yeah.
Because there's so many characters on the edge. You got 2.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I know of like 3 characters in my roster that I could upgrade today. So, in general, the only orbs I don't open are orbs that do nothing. So, like, I'll give you an example. Armory 16s have a small amount of gold. Therefore, they're worth opening.
Yeah.
Which is so dumb. Milestone orbs. There's gold orbs, and you know what I mean? Yeah. So they're worth opening. Now, I save my blitz orbs, my raid orbs, for, you know what I mean?
Added farmability.
Yeah, because and the spotlights for sure. You got to save your spotlights, right? But everything else, if it doesn't do anything in my roster, it sits. But if it does something, I open it, right? There's a couple of sections. Are you on the same place as this? And by the way, play the game the way you want to play the game. I'm not trying to say that. It's just everybody's got a different approach, right?
I'm completely on the same page. Like,
save these, save these.
Yeah.
Save these, right? Yeah. Save these raid orbs, right? Until a character goes in the raid store. In general, save these. Yeah. Right? Because then I could get Peter B up right away, right?
Yeah, which I did, and it was really smooth, just getting him up immediately. I also want to shout out the raid orbs that have uniques in them. It's very rare that they add a new unique, but I do sit on the ones that have uniques because, if they add a new chromium, I want to be able to upgrade my characters and not have to wait for orange uniques.
Right. Yeah. No, but right now, now with the sliders, I suppose there's a lot of people out there that have, and I don't try to convince anybody, but like there's people out there that they don't want to see this red dot. But for me, it's exactly what you said. If they add a new unique, then I can. This will not help me today, and the red dot doesn't bother me. So what's the point?
Yeah.
If there was any amount of gold or even character shards which can go to the Ultimate store, then I would probably open them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my view. Now, you have decided to open these orbs, and I'm on the fence, but I'm pretty sure this horrible decision right here eliminated all the value in what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was deliberate, like they saw the community doing this, and then this is kind of a big FU to the community. We're watching you, Scopely. Now, we want to talk about ARES and Gorr, and poor ARES, god of nothing. For those invested the hard-earned money and saved resources for ARES, you deserve a refund or compensation. ARES is god of war that doesn't work well with anything. I think there's 3 things. One, I don't think he's invincible.
No.
2, and I think everybody else is on the same page of this, is like kind of like the Quicksilver effect, where we got Quicksilver and we thought he was garbage for until we got red stars and power on them. So ARES is what, 2-3 right now?
3 stars.
Yeah. So he's not really doing anything right now, and then it's not super obvious that there's a team for him.
He doesn't, and I understand how people want to have a dedicated home for him.
Right.
Because the game has been based on 5-lock or synergy teams for so long. But he's a character you have to be very deliberate with.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that because there are some teams that he destroys.
Yeah.
Like any team with Black Knight.
Yeah.
Spider Society.
Yeah.
Yes, right? You know, it's just like there's very specific teams. And then the one thing that is probably the most disturbing to me is the limited use for him outside of war. I mean, I think there's like, if someone has Infinity Watch on defense and Crucible, you can go in there with ARES, then you don't have to deal with the safeguards, then you can Eternals blow them up. Yeah. So he does stuff, but he's not been exciting at all so far.
Yeah. But he wasn't released in a way that
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
The value proposition wasn't that he's gonna revolutionize war or like be this insane mythic character.
For hundreds of dollars, that wasn't what happened. It was $20.
Yeah.
In a battle pass that some people were gonna buy anyways. So for me, this was not extra cost.
Yeah.
Like Gorr was. Right? You know, Gorr was at extra cost.
Yeah.
But ARES was, for me, I'm a battle pass spender, but I think there were people that weren't, that bought the battle pass for this reason.
I see.
But it's still $20.
Yeah.
$20 is $20. $20 is $20.
$20 with a lot of gold,
other stuff, yes.
DPCs, and some gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I almost bought his first pass just for the DPCs because I want to get Logan up.
Yeah.
But I ended up not doing it. I might buy the second one right now.
My hope is that he's better at higher stars.
I think he will be. You just have to choose what you do with him very deliberately. Like, if you want to rip pre-taunts, if you want to prevent safeguards, if you want to take speed up off of a team, that's great uses for him. Charges, revives, those things. You can't just expect to plop him into anything. Like,
he's not really fast.
No. Unless you're pulling speed up.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are trying to use him with Cabal, which is also slow.
Yeah, that's a slow team.
It's a slow team, yeah.
And like, don't put him on defense because he's easily beatable with, like, if you bring like a Drax and an Ultimus, or like a pre-taunt plus Ultimus, you're baiting ARES to steal your pre-taunt, and then Ultimus gets speed bar and then cracks ARES.
He'll delete, he'll delete.
Especially now at low stars.
Yeah, and I think Cabal was like, what Cabal needs is speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Ultimus is actually a good fit with Cabal if it works, right? But I don't think ARES is the right choice. No. And I think there's a future character for Cabal that will help them in some way.
I mean, there's characters like Zemo or Vulture, depending on the case.
Vulture,
that work well. I have found good success with Zemo because he's fast and all he needs to do is crit.
Yeah, then they get speed up from Namor's passive, which is kind of a big deal.
And then they just go.
Yeah. So I think this is I feel like ARES, like Ultimus, is situationally good.
Yeah. And keep in mind, the most recent legendary we got was a war legendary. So they didn't bring out a free-to-play character to devalue that legendary that they stargated for us.
I also feel part of the problem on both these two carries, ARES and Gorr, part of the problem is how good and busted Black Knight and Old Man Logan were.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it just kind of like, out of nowhere, these characters were so much better. You know, even specifically Old Man Logan, like, he is arguably better in different kinds of ways than APOC and he's a legendary.
Yeah.
It's a little out of, I'm going to suggest it's a little bit out of place.
Yeah.
In Black Knight's a normal release character.
Yeah.
And so anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Gorr. All right. So I have a 3-star Gorr. You have not bought Gorr. Many people have said that he's trash. I got to tell you this, he's not better than Old Man Logan in Arena right now. Like, it is not like this. On a personal level, this has been one of the more disappointing characters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like for what I thought that this guy was going to shut down Old Man Logan, and it doesn't. Like the value he adds to the match, removing the battlefield effect from Mephisto is useful. Sometimes he takes his charges away, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clearing revives, but Mephisto already has an anti-revive mechanic, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's not fast. You know what I mean? Like,
well, 128 or 9, which is decent.
On these matches, he seems like he's going last.
I see.
Like, yeah, not. Well, I don't know. Like, it's just not great. But anyways, you know, I feel like, you know, like this person is talking about the same thing, that there's skirmisher problems, like getting rid of the charges is a problem. So you had a different take on Gorr than I did, and then I gotta maybe an explanation why I'm disappointed based on my test server experience. But go for it.
I think Gorr is somebody that lives and dies with his focus, and the test server does skew that experience.
Yes.
For me, even playing with him in the test server, he didn't seem like the most important character, and I decided that out of these 3 that are coming out, Gladiator is the most important for me to buy. Thanos is a good one to buy. I still haven't decided. And Gorr is someone that I'll just naturally unlock whenever they do his event, maybe 3 weeks from now. But he has very good kits and things in his kit and good control abilities, but he's gonna need a lot of stars to realize that. And right now, those things aren't crucial for the team to function, as far as I can tell so far.
Yeah, and in Arena, I think the 3-piece of the new character is going to be a lock, because once you have 3 Annihilators, some of Gladiators, you know, like no exposed and no vulnerables is kind of a big deal. And then you get no trauma, you get no assists. I mean, there's a lot of no on this team. Yeah, it's like no. So this is pretty wild that it's set up that way. So I think exactly happened is that the test server has everything at 7-7, but in the real world, we're playing against 3 Diamond Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
You know, and we're playing, you know, it's not, it's just different.
Yeah.
And so what's happening now is that we're having the best character of the games stronger, and these new characters are a lot weaker. And we were testing it like this, and it felt better.
Yeah.
I still think they're the best. I think that the optimal team is going to be, you know, the 3-piece of the new Annihilators, Apocalypse, and Mephisto.
Yeah.
But right now, Gorr didn't eliminate Old Man Logan from the equation. I'm finding that like without the assist, he's still really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Gladiator was more of a shutdown for Logan because he prevents him from getting speed bar.
Yeah, and the other thing, Gladiator is like massively stat based. I mean, if you keep him above 50%, then you don't have to do it's all kinds of cool things happen. But as soon as you drop below 50%, and when you're playing against him, it's the same thing. Yeah. If I can knock the opposing Gladiator below 50%, then I can, you know, do or even more like Apocalypse Ultimate. Like I'm trying to make a decision: is it going to knock Gladiator below 50%? Because then he goes into a super basic. Otherwise, he has to wait a turn.
Yeah.
It's
a slow turn because
oh my
people
God.
put slow on him and
yeah. Anyway, so it's been different than I thought. And it's funny, it's like when I initially played them, the order that I put on them was Thanos, Gladiator, Gorr. And then I watched a dorky video and I changed my mind. You know what I mean? And now I've gone back to that.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Where I still think Thanos is really cool.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, because when he drops below 50%, he strips all the it's like, okay, the match is reset.
Yeah, he does. He does reset.
It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or when he gets, but the only thing I don't like about that is it sometimes line up almost exactly with the ultimate.
Oh, then it's a waste.
Yeah, because the ultimate does not as good as the below 50%, but a similar thing. Anyways, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting.
My take was, the 50% thing with Gladiator, how important it is for him to stay over it.
Yes.
That's why I think, like...
Because the opposite was true with Thanos, right?
Yeah. I'm worried if Thanos is going to fall into a Doom situation in the future.
I didn't think of it like that. He kind of has like a Doom-like kit where... Yeah, like can you imagine how different a match is if he drops like below 50% like first turn and safeguard and all the positive effects, and he puts a bunch of negative effects out there when that happens too. So that all happens like right away, and then you are playing the match with the expectation that that's going to happen early rather than late.
Yeah.
Like Doom, and then it doesn't happen or he dies.
Yeah.
And then I imagine if you kill him, one shot him, it doesn't trigger.
I don't, or like even if he revives, it won't. I don't think it triggers. I haven't tested it. But
yeah, well, Doom's problem was that he would trigger, and then have the bleeds and then bleed out.
Yeah.
You're right, and then so that wouldn't happen with Thanos. Even if he died, then the effect went off. Anyways. Probably a lot of people are not even aware what we're talking about, because it's a very specific mechanic to Thanos, which is very good. Okay, so we talked about bumps being garbage and Scopely's trash, and ARES and Gorr are somewhat under my expectations, and this is just a reflection of why that happened. Let me know if you agree or not in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.